Airbnb, I want to feel at home. You know, it's what connects with the emotions. And when you walk into a place, that first impression means everything. And that's what I love about this place, guys. So
Can you see my screen?
the kitchen, you know, you always
Yeah.
want, as an all coming, and I'm traveling to do now work, run the empire, just like yourself. You want to have a place that's clean, that smells well, and that can work efficiently, especially for the people who want to be in the kitchen. So you have everything that you need here, you know, your tea. And one thing, like I always try to give advice to entrepreneurs.
This is in Kilimani,
Airbnb is to
Marcus Garvey Road.
Someone comes to this Airbnb, I want them to have everything. There's nothing that they need. And that's what's provided for you. So you guys have all that you need.
Really beautiful place. I love it.
It's really great. You know, everything there. Amazon, again, that I've been getting a lot of work here done as well.
So you can see here, and I'll go through this in the presentation. My mum spent quite a lot of money furnishing this place, obviously making it look very beautiful.
You can put it in the comment below. You know, this is what I want you to feel.
Yeah, very
you see,
beautiful place.
What I really love is the attention to detail. The attention to detail to help you when I come and stay here. How does it solve my needs? How does it solve what, you know? So we have the living room here.
Very beautiful place, you can see. Okay, so let's get into it. Let's put that down. Just mute you. Okay. Okay. So, Airbnb in Kenya. Now, for the people also who are on YouTube live as well, I want you to comment, or you can put in the chat number 1 or number 2. So there's 2 ways you could do this. You could either rent out a place like I do. So rent out a place, sublet it, and then have that income earning on top of your Airbnb, or you can own a place. So we're going to go into those 2 functions of how people can do that. So feel free to just put number 1 or number 2. Would you like to learn about maybe subletting, where you just pay rent to a landlord, and then now the income you earn on top of that, you're just now earning the income. So I think it's a very powerful thing to do to already get started, to be able to, you know, get into the property game in Kenya. And we're going to go into why this is so powerful, how people are doing this. So yeah, quite powerful stuff as we get into this, okay? So let's go. Okay, first disclaimer, none of this, of course, is financial advice. Everything here is just through experience, right? So if you can see on the screen here, this is been through Airbnb. You can see here we earn 21,838. That's Australian dollars, US dollars. That could come out to be maybe about $15,000. So this is income through Airbnb, right? And we'll get into more. January, you can see $715 came into the bank account through Airbnb, through property, right? February, 1,330 Australian dollars. That could come out to maybe about 800 USD. You can do the calculations. I'm just guessing there. But 1,330 Australian dollars come through Airbnb, right? You can see we have a split up. We actually have Airbnb in Australia here and also in Nairobi. You can see in modern 2-bedroom apartment in Kilimani, 750 Australian dollars, which could come to about 400 to 500 US dollars in a modern 2-bedroom, income coming through Airbnb. And this is just even one of the Airbnbs. We have another one, the one I sublet, that is also bringing in income as well, right? So this is the Diaspora Guide to Investing in Kenyan Real Estate. Now, as we get started, I just want to do an activity with you guys, right? I want to do an activity that I think is quite powerful when it comes to, you know, being here, because you all are here for a reason. Everyone who's watching on YouTube, everyone who's watching on Facebook, everyone who's here on this Zoom, which is quite an intimate session, you came here for a reason, is because you've been thinking about this. This has been on your mind. It's been on your mind, you know, and life, the way that life works is when you think about something, when it's on your mind, things present themselves in opportunities, right? I had this thought in my mind and here I am. with income coming through Airbnb. Here you are into this webinar because you've been thinking about this. So I want everyone to close their eyes. Please, I want everyone to close their eyes. And I just want, with fast forward, and you have 3 apartments in Nairobi, and you look at your phone and you can see the income coming in, $500, $600 a month that you're earning, up $1,000 that's coming through you owning your apartments. You have 5 now. You started early. How does that feel? You go back to Kenya, you don't have to pay for accommodation. You have a place to stay, but also you're there and income is coming in through your Airbnbs. You don't have to go to work because you have to go to work. You just work because you want to, but your Airbnbs, your apartments are bringing in revenue, that income. How does that make you feel? What does life look like for you? What do you do? Imagine being back in Kenya, or you're in America, you're in Australia, you're in Dubai, and you're just getting bookings through Airbnb, through rentals. It doesn't just have to be through Airbnb, which we're going to go into, but income coming into your bank account because you took a risk, you took an opportunity. Now, I want you to open your eyes, and I want you to embrace that feeling, because we're going to make that feeling into a reality. We're going to show you exactly how you're going to do exactly that. Okay. So let's get into it. So I like to ask people, what's your plan B? Right? What happens if you lose your job tomorrow? Look what happened around the world. Look what happened with, Dubai and Iran and everything that's happened. How many jobs have been impacted by that? Look at what happened in COVID, right? In the split of a second, and that's life. It's going to keep happening. That's the beauty of life, the unknown, right? Some people with COVID, it impacted and changed their lives in a bad way in terms of lost their jobs. Other people, it improved. Things happened. Maybe their business took off. So uncertainty is always here. So what happens if you lose your job? What are you actually building back home? So many people send money back home, but it's just to send money to people. Now imagine having something, an income producing asset back in Kenya, that you could, maybe someone's asking for money now, that your income or that properties that you have can even, you just take it out of that. So nothing's coming out of your own pocket. So what's your plan B? So I'll give you guys a story. Everything I'm talking here is not through stories, or no, it's through personal experience. Now, I will tell you guys, I haven't purchased my own unit. That's why we have 2 instances. We have mum, who's 60 years old. She looks like she's 25. And she purchased an off-plan unit in 2020, so almost 6 years ago. And mum always wanted to do this. She's getting, as she was getting older, she was like, I want to buy a place. I want something back home. But how's she supposed to do it? Who's she supposed to trust? You know how it is. You have people back home. It's your family. Oh, send me. I'll get you a place. And your family is even just stealing money from you. Who can you trust? You're in Australia. She's here working. She always wanted to go and do this. But who is she supposed to trust? How? Where do I even start? So that's what delayed her. Then again, like I said, when you're thinking about something and something's on your mind, opportunities will present itself. A bank from Kenya, I might pronounce it wrong, NCBA or something like that. NCBA came to Australia and they were just teaching about diaspora mortgages and helping and teaching people about investing back home. She went to that, so that inspired her, that lifted her up. And then an opportunity came through a family member, a proper one who was from Dubai, but going back and forth to Kenya. And there was an off-plan unit that she said, hey, in Yanji, there's this place that's available. It's the last place. It was 53,000 US dollars, which I mean, and so for as I was saying, it was this place here, right? So this place, it was when it's a 2 bedroom apartment. Now this place, again, it was off plan, so meaning it wasn't fully built yet. It was, in the foundation stages. So this was the place, but it was a place that didn't exist before because it was off plan, right? So this was the place. So she got that opportunity and said, you know what? Okay, so she wired 20,000 Australian dollars as a down deposit because you had to put a 20 to 30%. 20,000 Australian dollars in US dollars could come out to maybe about, again, 12 to 15,000 US dollars only. That was the down deposit. And then now she actually, yeah, we'll go through on how she now did it. And she actually did a mortgage just so she can have more money there, right? And there's many ways we'll show you into how you can do that. And then as of 2023, this exact place I'm showing you guys on YouTube, the evaluation already, so after it was built and it was created there in Kilimani, 2023, it grew to $66,000 valuation. That's what it was worth. So it was a capital growth of $13,000. So 25% appreciation in 3 years. In regards to the numbers and all these things, we're doing more educational pieces where we bring in real estate agents and CEOs to come in and talk a lot about this. But these are quite the simple numbers. So 25% appreciation in just 3 years. And like you can see, this place here, it's in a very beautiful place. It's in Kilimani, Marcus Garvey Road, near Yaya Center, near opposite Mama Oli H. It's again quite a very nice area. So it already appreciated in value $66,000, as you can see this place here. And again, we'll go into the furnishing and how she's made this place so beautiful. I really love it. I love going there when I'm in Nairobi. And so that was her dream, but her dream became a reality. So this is it on Airbnb, 5-star ratings, as you can see, because when every time we do something, we make sure we do it good. Our customers, when they come and stay at our Airbnbs, they're going to have the best experience ever. Look at how beautiful that place looks when they see it. 36 reviews. So what's the rental potential? If she has a full-time tenant in there, just no Airbnb, a full-time tenant, the rents will come out to $1,067 a month, which is 160K Kenya shillings, which is about $12,000 a year, right? So let's say if she didn't do a mortgage, because what you can do, which we'll go into, you can get this, let's say $53,000. It was in off plan. You put a down deposit of 12,000 USD, maybe 15,000 USD. And then what you can do is now pay off you could just do it monthly or every quarter. You just pay it in installments. It could come out to 3,000 or 4,000 every quarter. Not that much, right? Over the 2 years, however long it's being built, right? And so, so now imagine let's say she bought it, and then now imagine she'd just be earning $12,000 per year in rental income. That's obviously not, that's just the gross profit. Net, maybe she could take home $8,000 to $9,000 a year. So what does that mean? The rental yield based on a 10 million valuation in 2023, let's say 12,800, which is the rental yearly, divided by 53,000, which is what she bought it for, which is a 24% yield on the cost that she purchased it for, right? So usually you could see, again, really about a 7 to 8 to 9% yield through that type of investment, right? And we'll go into the differences between Airbnb and also rental. She did a mortgage. So again, so she didn't have to put up that $53,000, even if she could have in terms of the installments. She did a mortgage where it's $1,000 a month, which is a 14% interest rate, which is quite high, but she can afford it. The money that she earns, look, I can pay off the mortgage. And then look, if I have a tenant who comes in, or the Airbnb, right? So quite powerful stuff when you think about it. For those who are just joining, welcome. We're just going through Mum's property. So again, this was Mum, purchased an off-plan unit, $53,000, already grew in evaluation, 25% in 3 years. Rental potential, as you can see here on Airbnb, a 24% yield on the cost, and she's doing a mortgage. So this is, guys, Kenya, the opportunities are massive. Again, this is her place. This was a place that she had in her imagination and created into reality. Right now, as we speak, this place is getting bookings. And then we market it. We have it up on YouTube. And I'll go into a little more specifics on running an Airbnb, earning income through property. Imagine, look, me, I'm here in Australia. We're here in Australia. Mum's here in Australia. We're not in Kenya at the moment. But this place is bringing in income. It's bringing in money. When she goes back to Kenya, which she likes to go, she has a place that she goes and stays. But usually it's getting bookings, right? It's a beautiful place, Kilimani, right? People are coming and staying. So that's what we're talking about here. And we're going to go again into a little bit more specifics on how exactly you can do this. Okay. So let's go back. So again, limitless possibilities. The tenant could cover the mortgage, the equity builds, and the appreciation continues. So the goal, long-term cash flow. Imagine as she goes, that's income that is coming in through her apartment. What stops most people? Who can I trust? Like I said, how am I supposed to do this, right? Again, you can see the end product, but there's many cases where people don't get this opportunity. Someone tells you, oh, off plan, unit, and they're just stealing money from you. You know, you don't know where your money's going. How can you trust it? Here, we made this was safe because again, it's coming through and doing through the right people doing our due diligence, and there's a whole process to do it very safely, as you can see here. But this wasn't a place that didn't exist, but it became into existence, right? So that's what stops people is scared of sending money back home, scared of being scammed, and I'll do it next year. Who am I? I'll go into it a little bit. So I was born in Kenya and I moved to Australia when I was 3 years old. And that's why you can see I can understand Kiswahili kila kitu, lakini to kuongea I struggle sometimes. So yes, I was born in Kenya, moved to Australia when I was 3. I've been a football player, journeying into a business owner, starting. I have a podcast production company here in Australia, and we do quite a lot of business in the media world. And then I also started an African campaign with my father for Africans to take back our names, right? I removed my colonial name, and now I take my first name, which is Sujira, which is my Rwandese name, right? So then my journey into Kenya is I fell in love. I engaged with my fiance Anyango, and then we started our Airbnb business in Nairobi. And this is what I'm going to talk about. I used to go to Nairobi and I'm spending money on Airbnbs, $1,500, $2,000 for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, all my days. I'm spending quite a lot of money on Airbnb. So going through the process with mum, seeing this beautiful place that we would even go and stay, and that experience. I said, imagine we could do this ourselves, right? Instead of all that money going to someone else, why can't we? Yes, we're going to have to spend money to do this, but why can't we do this ourselves and earn income? While I'm here in Australia, I'm earning income through my Airbnb, right? So we started it just through because we were in a long distance relationship, but we still are, right? So, as I travel back and forth to Nairobi. So it also, my journey here started through love, my journey of coming back to Kenya. And let's go a little bit into the story. And I was on a border, and I'm excited. I'm from Australia. We don't have borders. So I'm riding on the border, and then I see a girl, her pants were kind of sticking out. And I was like, wow, pretty amazing. So the border kept going, and I was like, turn around, turn around.
No way.
Yeah. Imagine.
Yes,
I was like, turn around. And then he's like, okay. He's like, I know them. So he turned around, he pulled up. And then I know when I'm in Kenya, my accent sticks out. So the girls, usually. So then I kind of put an extra accent on. I said, excuse me, can I please get your number? And then she didn't even understand what I said. She was like, huh? Mm-hmm. And I was like, can I get your number? Put your number in my phone. You're very beautiful. Then she put it in. So that's a little bit on my story of how I got here. So I'm going to get into the specifics, but this is now our Airbnb in Nairobi. We got a place in Lavington and we just sublet. So guys, I explained a little bit. Again, let's go a little bit back, trace back. I explained to you, mum's place, she purchased it. 53,000 USD off plan, put a down deposit on this beautiful place here. And then it's a whole process, got a mortgage. So she purchased it. She owns this place, right? We said, you know what? Let's get into the game. Let's start this now without even putting all that money down into owning a place. Yes, $12,000, $15,000. It's not that huge in terms of a down deposit, but let's do this. Now I'm going to show you exactly even the specific prices into what we spent on this. But basically, we found a place in Neptune Residency in Lavington for $500 a month, which is basically I just rented out, unfurnished, rent out this place. So have a look. We obviously furnished it, which I'll go into. And then we said, okay, if we rent out this place and pay $500 a month, let's put it up on Airbnb. Let's put it up as a rental. And so if we pay rent $500 a month, then all we got to do is get bookings, charge $60 to $80 a night. And then the income we earn on top of that is extra income. So let's say we charge $500 a month. Someone wants to come and stay at our place for 1 month, which people do. They come and stay 1 month. 1 month, we charge them $1,500 for that month, or we can give them a discount, maybe $1,200 to $1,500. So we pay the landlord $500 a month, but then now we $1,500 a month. That's $1,000 profit. Maybe we go into some expenses maybe we walk away with $700. So that's the Airbnb arbitrage. This is a lower entry price because you're not putting so much money into the down deposit and everything, and it's quicker. We started this, boom. It's a very beautiful place, as you can see, right? So how we did it, we paid the bond and rent. And what I'll do for you guys is I'm just going to just bear with me for 1 second. I'm going to go into a little bit on the specifics. Let's go Airbnb cost. Let me find it here. Give me 1 second. So this is for 1 second, guys. Let's go Airbnb. Don't know why. Hold on. So we have, I'll just show you guys. So we have a WhatsApp group with some of you guys are in. Okay, let me show you guys here. 1 second. So let's go Airbnb. So we have a group where where some of you guys are in there. So I put this actually in the group. Some of you may have already seen it. Let's go here. Okay. So here it is here. I just want to go. So just so everyone knows exactly, what are the numbers, what it actually takes. Oh no, this is okay. It changes. But let's say we'll go live, right? So what we did was, let's go back a little bit. Sorry, guys. Okay. So what we did furnishing, I would say we spent about $10,000. And when I say $10,000, because look, guys, at an Airbnb, my mom, if I show you my mom's place, again, she spent about $20,000 alone in just furnishing this place. She literally spent $20,000, which is about 15. Remember, she down deposit, owning the place is different. As you can see, guys, you don't play. Look at the furnishing. Her quality came from Australia. She spent 22 million Kenyan shillings on furnishing this place alone. Why? Because if someone comes on Airbnb, there's no cheap things there. They have to come in and stay in a place that is beautiful. So the furnishing, again, it's you got to spend a decent amount of money. You everything has to be quality. You can see the artworks, the paintings, everything is intentional. Everything is with detail. When someone comes to your Airbnb, if you really want to make through money through Airbnb, someone's going to come. They're going to come to a place where they feel like home. They feel like home. This place, as you can see, it feels like home. So mom spends obviously quite more. Look, 2.2 million Kenyan shillings and still going, right? So that's just to kind of, show you. But remember, so for those of you who are just joined, I'm going through subletting. So this one is owned. Mom bought this place. Cool. This one is subletting where we pay rent to the landlord, do up the place, make it beautiful, and then just put it on Airbnb and earn the extra income on top of that, right? So this place here, as you can see, this is the place. So let's go back to that sheet and let's go back to the prices that we did, just so you guys can know exactly what it costs. So let's say we spent about 10,000, and that's ongoing, meaning so we got the place, like I said, and we paid bond and rent. So bond was actually spend more than this. Yeah, probably about $1,800 because you got to pay 2 months rent basically, which and our rent is 70,000 Kenyan shillings. So yeah, 12, actually that's right, 1,200 around that price there, right? So okay, so we paid the rent, 2 months rent, boom, we've got our place, got the rental contract. I made sure on the rental contract that they put in I make sure on the rental contract that they put that we're allowed to do Airbnb. So let's say we spent around $10,000 on furnishing, which was, I didn't put that 10,000 straight away. I just paid it off. I'm working, I'm running my business. I have income coming in. Boom, send 3,000. Send again more money. And remember, I have trust. I have my fiance back home. So I know I could do this with speed. I'm not having to worry, oh, is this person stealing my money? We don't have time for that. We got to get this business up and running. I'm running my own business. I don't have time. So boom, send the money. So I kept sending money just quickly within a 1 month, 2 months. So all up, I would say $10,000 on furnishing. Very important. If you want a good place, we want to make it luxurious. We want to make it people can come and they've got a beautiful place. So we spent around $10,000 in furnishing the place. So, but that's again over time. It wasn't straight away. So let's say pay the bond and rent, which was about, you can say up to $1,500. Let's say, right? You pay 2 months rent, boom, done. We've got the place, got the keys. Thank you. Unfurnished place, right? So then we say, okay, cool. We got to furnish it. So then we put in that money into furnishing. Wi-Fi, you'd pay about $30 a month, not much. Interior designer, which is, making interior designer is this, as you can see, you need someone to interior design it, design the place, make it really good. You look at the lights, everything is intentional. My fiance is someone who is interior designer. So that goes into her pocket too. Okay, I need you to go and do up this place. Everything again has to be intentional. Like you can see, everything doing this, like making it. How can we be special? How can we put a bar in our Airbnb, right? All Airbnbs are looking the same in Nairobi. No. We got to be different. And I even have more ideas where I'm going to be putting a podcast studio and all these other things. We'll get into that later. But really be simple. Look, we put in a bar and things like that. Like make it really unique. And the place has got great amenities. It's got a great gym. But the interior designer, it's got to be class. As you can see, mum. Maybe it's like mother, like son. Mum's place, as you can see, interior designer. Everything there, look, everything is intentional. Look how beautiful her place looks. And I'm telling you, when I go there, it's really a beautiful place, right? Everything is intentional. Her place, 2-bedroom apartment, it's beautiful. So you can see furnishing, and feel free to ask questions. So interior designer, not that much, 500 US dollars. Now I like this because marketing, you're going to have a marketing budget. How much do you need to spend a little bit on marketing the place, which I want to go into because everyone's on Airbnb. So what we do, we want it to be different. We don't just put it on Airbnb. We have it on TikTok, on Facebook, run ads. So we spend a marketing budget. I would say literally, let's say $400 a month I would spend on ads and TikTok and other places. So I'm not just at the mercy of booking of Airbnb and booking.com. Yes, like yesterday, we just got a booking through Airbnb. Fantastic. But, I just don't want to rely on that. I want to have other places. So now we put it up on Facebook and all these places. People are traveling to Nairobi throughout the year from January to December. That's money that we can make. So people are traveling, we're putting ads. Some people came in and say, hey, we're looking to stay for 3 months in Nairobi. They're coming from Dubai. In Dubai, people pay rents like for the whole year or 6 months. So imagine someone comes in and we charge them, let's say $1,500 a month, or we give them a discount. Let's say we charge them, $1,200 a month. We charge them to stay for the full month, but we only pay rent to the landlord $500. So we have $700 left over. 700. Let's say they pay 5 months. Let's say they want to stay for 6 months. They pay 6 months up front. That's what some people do. 700 times 6. That's $4,200 cash in hand. We pay we pay back our landlord the rent, and then everything else is just cash. So, or some people do monthly stays. We've had some people, maybe they come stay for 6 months. They can come stay. I like the long-term stays because it's more cash. And then the nightly stays. So a little bit on the pricing, what you can do here. So for example, you have different prices. So like, let's say Airbnb, just because Airbnb there's quite a lot of competition, we put it up for like $65 a night, right? Off Airbnb, we charge high because off Airbnb, we say, look, this is a luxurious. We don't want to just anyone coming in, anyone anyhow staying at our beautiful place. We don't want people coming and damages. Look, we put money into this place. We put our time and effort in here, right? So we said, look, this 1-bedroom place, people are coming and staying, So now through off Airbnb, now let's say we'll give them a discount. So let's say off Airbnb, we'll go $80 a night off Airbnb, right? A weekly price, we say, cool, if you want to stay for a week, we'll give you a bit of a discount. So we go, actually, we go $90 a night. $90 a night for like, let's say 3-night minimum. The only reason we're pricing it at this a 1-bedroom because we're making it luxurious. When someone's scrolling through Facebook, they're traveling to Nairobi, they want a place because we're running ads, we're using marketing. Not everyone does this. Other people, they just rely on Airbnb and booking.com. But me, I'm like, no, I want to make money from this. I don't want to just rely on Airbnb. If someone gives a bad review or if our booking is not showing as a listing, just in case, then we're at the mercy and I'm not going to get bookings. Well, no, of course, there is that risk that no bookings come through. It's even happened. We had 1 or 2 slow months in January, February. It was a little bit of a slow month, but I was comfortable to pay the rent because it's okay. But when we first started, I'll be honest with you guys, when we first started, I didn't even pay any rent. So basically, I just had a place and people were coming in 2 weeks, staying, it was paying the rent off itself. So I wasn't even touching rent out of my pocket. Actually, this whole time we've had it, I've barely paid rent out of pocket. I only had 1 to 2 months where I had to pay rent out of pocket. And apart from the bond, that's about it. right? So let's say you give them a bit of a discount, weekly price. Let's say if you want to stay for a week, you do it at $80 a night. And then monthly, we'll give them, if they stay for a full month, we'll give them like a roughly a price of about $70 a night. And then rents, we're paying about $500 and that's US dollars a month, right? So these are so this is it. So this is the expenses you'd have, furnishing, which is sometimes ongoing, paying the Wi-Fi, paying an interior designer, have a marketing budget, have a little bit of money left over. Maybe just someone comes in, maybe damages something small, you just have some small leftover money. But that's really, really the expenses that we acquired doing this. As you can see. So we went live on Airbnb within 1 month. Within 1 month, we paid the bond and rent. Like I said, paid bond and the rent, 2 months rent up front, furnished it. The first money I sent over was around $4,000. And then just through time, just sent a little bit more money, sent more money. So by the time it's $10,000, you don't even realize it because you just furnish it over time. But furnishing it over time, at least within a month, we had majority of these things here. We had majority of this stuff here already. The TV we bought 30K, just boom, put money in, put money in, put money in quickly, quickly. But you can do that. The money that we earn here in the West is very manageable to do. In Australia, something like this you'd spend up to $30,000. I barely, here, what, up to maybe 10, let's say 15 grand. And that's over time. So there's not money I put in straight away. So that's why it's so doable for everyone to do it. This is our place on Airbnb, Soft Escape, Cozy Bar Views, Lavington, right? Entire rental unit in Nairobi. This is our place. Location is very important. I didn't want to go to Kilimani because everyone is in Kilimani, even though you can see Mum's place is in Kilimani here. Like this place here is in Kilimani. I didn't want to do there because everyone's going there and it's so saturated. So we said, okay, let's be different. We went Westlands is a new area that's getting developed and that's quite beautiful. So we went, let's go a bit close to Westlands. We went into Lavington. So this place here you can see is in Kilimani. We didn't want to do that. We wanted to, but the location is very, 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 very important. You have to pick a really good location. Does anyone have any questions so far? Okay, and we'll go to more questions at the end also. So why Kenya? Why now? Kenya GDP growth is 5% annually. It's one of the strongest growing economies in East Africa. It really is, right? It's the financial capital of East Africa. I'll give you an example. I was in New York recently, and when I was in New York, I went to T-Mobile to get my SIM card because I needed an American SIM card. And I called the call center, and then I was talking to the lady, and then I'm like, this accent. She had a little bit of American accent, but I was like, the accent, I noticed this from somewhere. And she was Kenyan. I was like, are you from Kenya? She was like, yeah. And then I thought maybe she was a Kenyan in America. She was like, no, we're in Kenya. I'm like, wait, what? She was like, yeah, we're in Kenya. T-Mobile has a headquarters here. And I'm like, oh my goodness, of course that makes sense because even me, I run a business. I have my team members I pay in Kenya. I'm not going to pay someone here in Australia. You're paying them higher wages and they even do nonsense work. T-Mobile, the same, big company. They save their wages, save money by instead of hiring people in America, they have offshore in Kenya. So they're building their headquarters in Nairobi. So all these companies, they're all moving to Nairobi, right? They have their headquarters there. UN, right? United Nations, they host the only UN headquarters in the global south. There's constant demand for quality housing. For example, Mum, this beautiful place you can see here, she had someone come in from the UN, stayed. UN, they have money and the UN pays for the accommodation for their employees. How much is rent? Boom, 1,500 a month. 1,500 a month for Americans is nothing. Do you know how much in America a place like this would be in the city, downtown, central to all the locations? It's going to be way more money. So $1,500 a month for them is nothing. But that's where we get that profit. Why? Because all these companies, all UN people are moving there. So that's why you guys are here for a reason. This is visionary stuff. We're only seeing, man, people are going to be jumping on this bandwagon. You guys are here now. Some people will be here. They get motivated, but they don't take any action. Shariako, that's your fault because, hey, I'm in this game because I know this is like next year already. There's bringing AFCON, which is African Cup of Nations. They're bringing it to Nairobi. People are coming to Kenya. We are only in the beginning stages. People are even talking about saturation. I don't even believe in that because that's good. We want more people coming and building Airbnbs because it's just going to drive more demand. So I know I'm in this game here early. Here early. I got to be in now. Even if I'm not going to own a place, let me rent out a place and put it up on Airbnb. Let me get the help. Let me pay for the mentor that I need to. But people are moving to Nairobi. So I want to be in this game early because I know Yes, the market, great comment, Wycliffe. The market is moving very fast. And like a businessman, we got to move with the times. I'm here in Australia, but we got this stuff running very powerfully. So the UN's there, right? Infrastructure expansion, Nairobi Expressway, there's ongoing road expansion. The infrastructure drives property demand. Great infrastructure happening. One thing I always like to say is you got to follow the Chinese. The Chinese have been building in Kenya over this past decade. They see where the future lies. Chinese, let me tell you something. In here, I'm not even, we're talking about Kenya. Even here in Australia here, the property prices are crazy. Very, very expensive, right? 20 years ago, of course, the property prices were lower and it was actually like a place like Kenya, but the Chinese were here those days 20, 30 years ago and they were buying all these big buildings you see here in Australia. It's not Australians who own them, it's the Chinese. Because also China's not, it's not too far from Australia. These Chinese people there. So I do a lot of business in my company with Chinese, doing podcasting, and we do quite a lot in Singapore. So we work with them. So we know the Chinese, we just follow them. They have been building in Kenya for the past decade. Why? Why have they been doing that? Because they know what's happening. They can see it. So if they're saying, let's go and build there. I was in Kilimani. I might even show you guys. You guys are lucky. I'll show you guys this. And everything I do, like don't watch what I say, watch what I do. So it's not about talking. Let me see if I can find it on my channel. It's not about talking. It's about doing. I was in this place, Chinatown, China. I'd have to find it on my channel. Let's see. Okay, here. I was in a place in Kilimani. I was staying at an Airbnb. I couldn't believe it. I was like, oh my goodness. There was a Chinatown across the road, and we went to go eat in the Chinatown. But I was like, are you kidding me? I was like, they're already building. There's everywhere you go in the world, you'll find a Chinatown. But I was like, I never thought to see one in Africa because I've been traveling to Kenya this past 10 years. I never really seen a Chinatown. Guys, look at this place. Literally, this was our Airbnb was literally that building you just saw there. I was documenting this was a Chinatown in Kilimani, and I couldn't believe it. And that's actually our Airbnb was just there. You see, this is in Kinderuma Road, right? We went there. I went and toured. I said, "Wow, this is it. Look, everywhere they have a Chinatown, you know." So look at them, they're building. So why are they doing this? Because they know in 10 years, this place is going to be packed. They already look, and this you can see they actually built, they were in their building, they already had built it, they're developing it. So I'm like, are you kidding me? So this is a huge sign. Don't let this go. Look at this. I literally couldn't believe I was there being a tourist. I'm in Kenya and I'm going in a Chinatown in my country. So I'm like, man, these Chinese, they're very, very smart. So yes, if they're building, that means that's a very good sign. So, what are some of the rules? What does it take to do this? Let's go into it. And this is owning, again, some of the stuff. If to sublet an apartment, to just rent out an apartment, you don't even need this. But anyway, if you have a Kenyan passport, you can get any property type anywhere in Kenya. You have freehold land with full ownership rights and agricultural land with no restrictions. You don't necessarily even have to hold a Kenyan passport. You can be a Kenyan citizen. Some people from the UK, America, they might not have their Kenyan passport, but they have that Kenyan citizenship. You also get all of these rights as well. Documents you need: passport, ID, KRA, PIN certificate. This is more around owning a place. Again, when you sublet like me, you don't even have to do all this or have all this stuff. What is a KRA PIN? A Kenyan Revenue Personal ID number, a tax identification number issued by the Kenyan Revenue Authority. You can need it to buy property in Kenya, pay stamp duty, and register a title deed. What else? You can open a Kenyan bank account. You don't necessarily need a Kenyan bank account, but it's nice to have. You pay your rental income tax and you register a business. How do you get your KRA PIN? Apply online through the KRA iTax portal. Requires your passport. Lawyer will assist. When it comes to purchasing the property, guys, a lawyer is very important. So again, showing you guys mum's place, earlier. She had to get a lawyer. So it's very, very important. She had to get a lawyer. That's very, very important. If you want to purchase a place, you got to get a lawyer. Very important. If you don't have a Kenyan passport, you can still have an apartment and house with no restrictions. There's a leasehold land for 99 years, which is quite a long time. After 99 years, you just apply it and you get that again. But that's basically, you can get apartment, you can own. What you can own, you agricultural land requires government approval, of course, and you cannot own freehold land outright. You can get a Kenyan bank account. You don't need one, but you can have a Kenyan bank account. What's really important, what I told you guys with Airbnb, and just like even like Mum's place, I was showing you guys, is you need a good team on the ground, right? Like this place here, we wouldn't have done this with us helping. Like you need a good team. This place Mum owns, like I was saying, and we needed a team on the ground. Like I'm here in Australia, I don't have time to be doing these things. I'm running my own business. I have a whole other company that I'm running, that I'm doing things. I don't have time for this stuff. I don't have time to do, no. Of course, I have the business side of it, the bookings and the, the pricing, the strategy, the rest of the stuff. I have that team on the ground. Again, I have my fiance there to really be helping me do a lot of these things. So the interior design, all those things, I couldn't do this by myself, of course. So you really need a good team. We also help people with management. So we have other apartments and other management that they give us their place. We run the ads for them on Facebook. We basically help them manage their property, or we just help them with bookings. Someone wants to come in, book in and stay. You're in America, you're in Australia, but someone can come in and check in nicely and get value, and money's coming into your account. Or you can go and find a property management company or a real estate agent. This is how you guys can do it yourself, but you do need a team. This is when it comes to purchasing. If you want to purchase, like I gave Mum's example, she did a mortgage, but I would suggest cash is obviously much better. Stronger negotiation power. It's a faster closing process. There's no interest, no bank approval delays. You own the place immediately, and it's a lower long-term cost. Let's say she paid 53,000 USD. Let's say you pay every quarter, every 3 months, you pay $4,000. Boom, boom. You put in your down deposit, and then imagine within 2 years, a year, let's say it gets built and you own the place and you've paid it off cash. So everything else that comes in is just cash flow, right? You can do off-plan installments, which was like, for example, you can see Mum's place, lower entry price. You can spread the payment from 12 to 36 months, and it's usually a smaller upfront down deposit. So usually it's usually 20 to 30% down deposit. And then again, you can spread payments over 12 to 36 months. So then you own the place. And this is an off plan. So like I was showing you guys earlier, this place here was off plan. This is exactly what Mum's place was off plan. It wasn't fully built yet. They built up the place, Chinese developers. And so now, of course, now as it's built, imagine if you were to buy a unit in that place, of course, it's not going to be the same price. So off plan lets you secure today's pricing over time, which is quite powerful. Yeah, you could either do a mortgage. This is again owning the place. Designed for Kenyans, that's what Mum did. Typical rates 12 to 15%, 14%. Mum's like, look, I'll do a mortgage. I got to put a lot of money into furnishing. I've already put in a $20,000 down deposit, Australian dollars, which is about 15 to 12,000, 12 to 15,000 US dollars down deposit. Let me just do a mortgage. I can pay off the mortgage, which is fine. But then now any money. So what Mum does is, look, I'll pay off the mortgage, which I'm paying every month. And now when Airbnb bookings that come in, like I was showing, for some of you guys who missed it earlier. So as you can see here, so this is year in review Airbnb. Look how much money, 21,000, that's Australian dollars. We do have two Airbnb, so there is a little bit of a slight difference. January, $700. February, $1,300, right? Her place in Kilimani. So here, $750 to come into her Airbnb. So what she does is just say, look, I pay off the mortgage, and then all that money comes into her Kenyan bank account. So now when she travels to Kenya, it's not like she doesn't have to save or she's already got a pile lot of money through all these Airbnb bookings, and then she just pays off the mortgage. So now that when she comes in, she's already got money in her account. She doesn't even have to stress, I've got money that's piled up through the rental bookings. So the mortgage is a great way just to save a little bit of your cash flow. It is a little bit of a process through going through the mortgage, the paperwork. It takes a bit of a time, but you can still do it. Requires income verification, often 20 to 30% deposit required, and allows leverage. That's my mom. You could do SACCO loans, member-based lending institutions, low interest rate, a faster approval process. Developer payment plans. Again, some places we know, if you guys want cheaper places, there's cheap places that we can take you to that we know developers, like 20,000 US dollars that you can buy a place, right? 20,000, which is nothing. And you don't even have to put in a down deposit. You literally just paid off $20,000 and you can pay that off within 2 years. You can pay like $400 a month, which is nothing. Those are more places, not like this in Kilimani, expensive. They're more those Rongai, those Thika Road, and that's actually a majority of the rental game in Kenya. That's where, your rent is there like $150 a month, which is nothing. But imagine $150 a month you're getting, you put in it, and you own that place. What I would do as a businessman, I would buy maybe like five of those, six of those, right? They're $20,000, really cheap. Like, there's not down deposit. I would just buy five or six of them, maybe own a whole block of those, maybe buy eight of those. But imagine eight giving you $150 a month in rent. And those are guaranteed because the rent is so cheap. Those, it's a different clientele that you're always going to have someone, so imagine, do 5 or 10 times 150. That's a good amount of rent coming in. So, that's where the smaller, more affordable housing. Some people, maybe not everyone here wants to do Airbnb or wants to do, have a tenant. You can just have a townhouse, a maisonette, where it's more of your building your home. It's a high rent, more maintenance, a lot, those rural areas, Kiambu, etc. That's where you can get a townhouse if you want. You could also do apartment, which is ready, which is more expensive. Again, this is more for the buying. They're easier to management. They're popular with professional experts. What are some of the risks? You have rental income, liquidity, service charges, which is not that much. There's oversupply in some zones. So like I said, Mum's place, man, so many apartments building there. So many. I went to one place that I stayed in, Airbnb. I'll show you guys here. Luxurious penthouse. Roby. Let's see if I can find it quickly. This place here. I go here and stay here in this Airbnb. You can even see the view here. So if you look at the view there, I'll just show you there. So this place, we come in here and we stay in Airbnb. So I had always been documenting my time in Nairobi, right? So let's see if we can just, does it show the view? So this time, was there a view? Yeah. So I think when we came and stayed this time, you could see the view there. Like it was a really beautiful view in this place. I went there maybe 3 years later and I couldn't believe it. There was an apartment building in front. So they built another apartment in front. So it was blocking the view. So this is in Kilimani. I went, and if you look here, all these apartments here on this side here, all of them were now empty. But this time when I was here, so you can see this was 3 years ago. This time when I was here, all these places were full. But now 3 years later, people moved out because why? The view was gone because they already built apartments in front of it. So sometimes the danger a little bit is the oversupply in some zones is if now they're just killing, they're building so many, that can sometimes be a little bit of a risk. Like Mum's place, when you go to Mum's place, there's quite a lot of so many apartments, so many. So that sometimes can be a risk. So you got to also, that's where you got to look. The location is very important. So that's why we're seeing Westlands is becoming the place where it's is not as many as, let's say, Kilimani, and then you have a less land ownership. So those are, again, there's risks with everything that you do. There's going to be a risk. What you could do is land as well, which is a lower purchase price. No tenant management, and there's capital appreciation on land. I found land can be a bit risky. Again, the law is very important. But yeah, it can be quite risky. You can do commercial properties, high rental yields. There's a lot of tax you'd have to pay on this. And this is again for more money. Great thing. I speak with some real estate people in US and things like that. I love commercial properties because it's businesses. Businesses pay rent on time. They have money, and those are great tenants. There's a little bit of a higher, if there's economic slowdown, COVID happened, people working from home, that can be, but commercial properties are quite good. Again, these are the off-plan units that you could do, modern furnishers, potential appreciation before completion, and lower entry prices. What are the risks? Like you can see Mum's place here. What about if there's delays? Market conditions contend. There's, small risks, but there's good insurance that you can do if you have a good lawyer, which we always advise. You can have ready units that you can purchase, immediate rental income. So straight away, my auntie did that. She was a flight attendant from UAE coming to Kenya, and she just said, let me get a ready unit. I don't have time for it. So she got a ready unit, $100,000. And then now she just puts it up. Now, right now, as we speak, she has four. She has 4 apartments right now. What are the risks with ready units? Of course, there's less appreciation compared to the early off-plan ones. So the location is very, very, very important. You want to get a lawyer. Even we work with one real estate agent. They don't let you even send them the down deposit without getting a lawyer. Managing from a board, again, you want to have a good property management company, something like what we do, or a great family member, or a trusted team, someone that you can trust to help you run things on the ground. Like I went through the Airbnb strategy, which a lot of people were interested in, doing what I'm doing, which I basically pay rent I sublet. You want to have a really good demand location, near corporate offices, and you want to fully furnish it really nicely. What would you rather, Airbnb versus a full tenant? Long-term tenant is good because now you just say, look, every month I'm getting my rent every single month. Um, which is more stability. Airbnb, it's higher upside, so instead of, that $12,000 a year I could earn through just having a full-time tenant there, that 12,000 can turn into like here. So let's say if I have a full-time tenant, let's say pays me $12,000 a year, right? $12,000 I just get rental income. But now when you do Airbnb, look, $21,000, $18,000, you can earn more through Airbnb. Again, if it's a great location, if it's a wonderful place, if you're marketing, if you're not just again, I don't just rely on Airbnb. For me and my clients, we make sure we set them up on Facebook ads. So now people who are traveling from Dubai, going to Nairobi, people going to Dubai to Nairobi all the time, people going to America. Look, we're in March now. Imagine if you do something, if you start to do this now, by the time what's happening, summer comes in, right? People are traveling to the summer holidays, coming to Nairobi. Now that's where you can see that money. Someone books your place for 2 months. Think about the income you're going to earn from that 2 months that someone comes in and stays. So yeah, there's two upsides to it. Either, and you can put in the chat, put in number one or number two. Would you rather do Airbnb? If you'd rather do Airbnb, put number one in the chat here, right? If you'd rather do Airbnb. If you'd rather have a full-time tenant and just collect your cash every month, put a number two in the chat. What's your kind of more risk appetite? What would you prefer? Full-time tenant or Airbnb? Put number one if you would rather Airbnb, number two if you'd rather a tenant. Taxes. Now these have gone up a little bit. No, actually, yeah, it's all right. For Kenyan residents, about 7.5 to 10% rental income tax, and then there's a 15% capital gain tax. If you're not a Kenyan resident, it's actually 30% tax. Now, being in Africa, in Kenya, people don't even pay those taxes. Like, a lot of people don't even pay it. It's Africa. You can kind of get away with things like that. But yeah, that's just to be honest with you guys. Okay, what does life look like? 12,000. This is just if it's a full-time tenant. 12,000 of rental income after the mortgage. And of course, that 12,000, there's expenses in there as well. An apartment that she can retire in. And as again, mom, we're going to own multiple apartments in Nairobi, not just one. She can have one. You can have one in Nairobi, and then you have another five. Let's say you have one that you're living in, or maybe you go live in Mombasa. You have, you're just paying rent. But then imagine now you have six other apartments bringing you income. What would that feel like? Imagine that. And that's what I was saying. The start of this, for some of the people who missed it, I said, close your eyes. Do this activity with me. Close your eyes. What does it feel like? Imagine you're having income coming in through your apartments. You own a place. You come back to Nairobi. You don't have to pay for Airbnbs. You have a place. You see income coming in every single month. That cash is coming into your bank account because you invested early. What does that feel like? What does life look like for you? You don't have to go to work because you have to go to work. You work because you want to. Maybe this is even turned into a full-time income play, which can. So what's the 5-step action plan from here? I told you guys, I wanted to give everyone the game. I wanted to teach everyone, right? Even if I can just give you what's required, you have what it takes to go and do this yourself, right? So what's the 5-step action plan? Define your goal. What's your goal? Do I want capital? Do I want to sublet, which is I don't have to put as much money in as owning a place? I can sublet it out, and there's less risk there in terms of if I'm not getting bookings for, let's say, 3 months max, okay, I'll just sell the furniture. Let's sell the furniture and then just don't pay rent and then tell the landlord, look, my lease is done. That's literally, so, that's what we did. We said, look, worst case scenario, if we don't get bookings, we just give up the lease and boom, I'm tied out. If you own the place, then you kind of own it, and then selling it is a bit of a process. But if I just do rental game, of course, to make money, I've got to spend money. So I've got to put into furnishing, I've got to put into marketing, I've got to do this, but I know what's going to happen. And now, like I sit here, I get bookings on Airbnb and I get bookings, people coming to us, TikTok, other places. We earn income through this. So straight away, I wasn't even paying rent. So what's your goal? Is it capital appreciation? Is it cash flow? What's your goal? You got to define what your goal is. Then you got to define your budget. Again, if I want to own a place, what's my budget? If I just want to do the Airbnb game, what's my budget? If I'm working and you have income coming in, that's okay, because you have income coming in, you can now continue, you can fund it. Every month you can fund it. You can pay the rent of. So what's your budget? Again, subletting, it's less money. than owning. So if you have and what you could do is maybe you have a smaller budget for subletting, and then the income that you're making through subletting, you're making income. That income that you're going to continue to acquire, especially if we run a really good Airbnb and a good rental property, that money that you even acquire can even go into now owning a place. You reinvested into now owning. So yeah, you got to define your budget. Then you got to build a team, whether that's, let's say, what we do or someone else. You have to build a team, or maybe you have a team on the ground. Maybe you have some family members that you can trust. The hardest people have here, us Diaspora, is trust. Who can I trust to run this? Or even to do the Airbnb game, you need a good team. You need really good people on the ground. I couldn't do this if I didn't have my fiance. I couldn't. Of course, I do travel back and forth. I help clients set this up, but I couldn't do this if I didn't have a good team on the ground because I'm busy. I'm running my business. I have things that I'm doing. I have too much things that I'm doing here. So I don't have time to be managing all these things. But if I have a good team, like the business owner I am, then I could do this and earn it. I just see the money coming in my account. You have to do due diligence. Where's the place? Location, everything, lawyer, due diligence. Very, very important. And that's working with people. That's why I would rather spend money on things like this than have to, it would cost me more money later down the line because I didn't do my due diligence. And then execute. Then you got to go and execute and do it. And due diligence, again, lawyer if you're going to own the place, right? And then you got to execute. And then projects. So it depends on what you want to do. So we have a WhatsApp group. Some of you are already in there. If you're not in there, let me know. It's mainly just for diasporas in Dubai. We have about 50 members from UK, UAE, and Australia, US. What you can also do is, guys, if you even want to do this Airbnb game, you can partner with someone. You go 50-50. So I was breaking down some of these costs. Guys. Like maybe let's say you partner with someone, maybe from someone from the US, UK, someone in the WhatsApp group that we have, and then now everything you just split it 50-50. Maybe we'll just maybe create a business. Maybe if you guys are all in America, let's create we create a business, we have a business account, and then okay, let's go 50-50. So now that makes things easier. The furnishing we can split it on. We split the furnishing. So now it's just 5K each. And again, that $10,000 is not all at once. You furnish over time, but maybe the quicker you want to have this place quicker, you can. But maybe if you say, okay, this is my budget. Let's say we're in March or April and I start this, maybe by July we can have this place ready or thing. It depends on the place. So that's the whole process. And then you can get that cash very easily by working. So you can split that money with someone now. So that now everything is split. Now, if everything is split and you're doing 50-50, then you're not putting as much money in. And then now, of course, and then the income that comes on top, let's say even if you guys are doing 50-50 with someone, the bookings that are coming in, let's say if it's just covering the rent, that's okay. You have an apartment in Nairobi and then you can go and stay in. You have an apartment and people are staying and booking your place and it's covering the rent. Cool. It's nothing is even coming out of your pocket. But now, of course, usually people who stay in, we have, even if it's a half 50% occupancy, there'll be income on top of that because now let's say you're charging. Let's do the math now. Let's say someone comes in. Hold on, let's do the math as we speak. So let's say someone Airbnb, let's say if it's off. Okay, let's do Airbnb. If it's Airbnb and we charge $65 a night, that's just, a starter for, let's say, a week. That won't be, it's $455. So that's even close to even having the rents done. That's just 1 week at $65 a night. And that's if we do Airbnb, right? Which Airbnb you can get bookings. If we do off Airbnb, let's say we do $80 a night and they come and stay for the week, right? Someone comes in, they see a beautiful, luxurious apartment on YouTube. They see it, that's what we like to do. We want to be everywhere. Me, I'm a businessman. I want to be every single where because what are people doing? People every single day, they're Googling. I'm traveling to Nairobi. I'm going places. So I want to be there when they show up and look for a place. I want to be there. If they're going on Airbnb, they can see me. They can see my apartment. If they're on TikTok, I told you my partner was smart because woman, she's smart. When we travel, we go to these different countries. All these places we're going to dinner. She found them on TikTok. Wait, I'm taking on a date now through TikTok. I didn't know this thing, but so people are searching. We've got bookings on our Airbnb through TikTok, right? So let's say now you're getting a booking through TikTok. Let's say $80 times, maybe we charge them for the week, 80 times, and I'm just giving a week. That's 500. That is above the rent. So rent is paid. So now if we do 50% occupancy, let's say we charge them 80 times 14. $1,120. And let's say you're spending, let's say you have marketing, you're doing $400 a month on marketing. You did it. But as you can see, so I paid the rent back, and then there's income that comes on top of that. What about if it gets booked out for the month? So this is why we do this business, so we can earn income on. So that's why I was saying, if you maybe now partner with someone, and then if you're now splitting with someone, you just split the cost. So now it's about, okay, cool. If we're putting money into marketing, we have our own website. I even believe we all should have your own website. Again, don't just rely on Airbnb. This is a business. I want to imagine earning $2,000 a month from this. $2,000 a month, someone's, 2,000, you split that with someone half, or you just do it yourself and keep all of that yourself. So again, it really depends on your budget, but that's what you literally can do. So that's why we have the WhatsApp group also for things like that, where maybe you can just partner with someone. So it's less cash up front, but you can get into the game. So you have access to ROI driven off-plan projects. Or let's say you want to own a place and you'll still do the Airbnb game, but let's say, you know what, I want to own an off-plan place. Let me get a place that I can get off-plan already, and then I just own it. And so now all the income that comes in is coming in through, just income.
Luxury properties with the highest ROI. So here are some of the properties.
So this is a place in Westlands that we went to go check out. We work with the developers here. It's an off-plan project, which will be done, I believe, 2028 or next year. It depends. So, this is it. And we just put them in the WhatsApp group. Someone goes in, boom, go in and connect. If you want to go in there and do it, hey, go yourself. That's fine. We just put in an opportunity to do that, right? These are some of the places, the projects that they have. So you guys will get access to this, which is awesome. And you get access, and maybe if it's just, again, if you want to do the subletting, which we'll go into, you have now access. Hey, you want to get a place to sublet? Here's this place. We'll put it in the WhatsApp group. You can, maybe rent is $600 a month, $700, boom, and then you can go in on that project as well. So what you can do from here, there's only going to be, I always say, there's only 1% who come into these webinars and they take action. Most people just come in here and consume content. They consume motivation. Or look, even if you learn how to do it, you can go and do this yourself. Boom, go and do this. But only 1% actually take action. Actually go in and take action. You've been thinking about this for so long, and then it's like, oh, okay, cool, great information, and then going back to normal life. And then a year, 2 years later, you see people doing it, and then you say, oh, I wish I would have done it. But you had the opportunity, you just didn't take action. So what you can do is you can book in a coaching session, and then we'll go in and plan all of these things out. And for some people, what we do is, let's say you want to do a sublet, we'll go do it for you. I go to Nairobi, get you your place to rent, go and find the contract, get the contract done, find the rental place, boom. Then we furnish it, get the furnishing. So we literally do everything for you. Get the marketing, do YouTube videos, do it all. Literally go and do this for some people, literally. So they're just there, and then they can start subletting. Even if it's just to sublet it, boom. Okay, I need to get a place to stay. Boom. We'll go find a beautiful place that's going to be actually getting you rental income through Airbnb. So we'll go in there, find the place for you. Boom, get the place. Boom, you got to get the furnishing, lead you to the furnishing, get the furnishing, boom. Okay, boom, now let's market it for you. And then we can just even earn commission by getting you people to come in and book your stay. So now we market it for you, boom, having that marketing done. So it's like an 8-week accelerator. Within 8 weeks, whether you don't have a place, boom, let's go find you a place that we can sublet, right? Boom, let's go do it. So within 8 weeks, you can start from having nothing all the way up to you finally got your place. We started the furnishing, boom, and then we start the booking. Some people might even have a place already. If you already have a place, boom, let's just go get you bookings. Let's go earn you $2,000 a month. Let's go earn you $24,000 in a year through Airbnbs. And now you just got to earn more. So if you guys want to do that, we'll work closely with you to go in and do that. But to start off with, you can even just book in a free coaching session where let's look at the numbers. Let's go in and look at the numbers. So, which is like this. We go in, okay, what are the costs? What are the numbers? Everything it's going to cost you. Okay, with all of those costs, are you happy with these costs? Yeah, I'm happy with, I can pay furnishing over time, Wi-Fi easy, interior designer easier. Okay, I'll put in a marketing budget. Okay, your services, how much are your services to help me do this? Boom. And then we'll go off to the races. Or at least you have the numbers, and then maybe you come back 6 months later. 12 months later. Again, I would rather start now like I did, but you can, as long as you have all the numbers that you need to now know, okay, I'm working, I'm earning, so now I can put money aside. So now, boom, okay, so Jira, I'm ready. So it just really depends on how hungry people are. It depends on how visionary you are, and it depends on how you're going to turn this into a business. Again, things don't happen overnight. It does take some time. Again, for us, out of the first month, I didn't pay any rent. The bookings were taking care of the rent. So straight away, really, it was just I just had to put these funds into getting the rental in, getting the place to rent, furnishing the place, paying for Wi-Fi. That's it. Really, within a month, then it was okay. And so now where we've been able to approve, we made small mistakes by just relying on Airbnb. So because I went through that, now other people don't have to go through that. I said, boom, let's build a website for it. Let's run ads on it. Let's run Facebook ads. Every business, if you want an Airbnb, it's not just a luck. For every business has marketing budget. What's your marketing? So we say, okay, boom, let's have a marketing budget. Every month I run ads on Facebook for people who are coming luxurious 2-night bedroom apartment. I might even show you guys a little bit of a sneak peek. Do I have a sneak peek? No, I don't. I might have a sneak peek here. So for example, can I go back? Just to show you guys, just to show you guys a little bit of the vision. Where is the place? So literally having like a website for it. For some reason, my thing is not loading, but I could show you that later. But literally like a place where you can go in there and 2-bedroom apartment for stay, and you have your own website. So does anyone have any questions for me? Any questions? Any questions? How can you get started? Again, if you maybe you're shy to ask questions in front of everyone, you have me on WhatsApp. You can book in a coaching session, and then we can go through exactly what do you need to do this. How can you get started? How can you have earning $2,000 a month? Imagine earning 2,000. Imagine let's say you spend 12 grand, through this whole process, 12 grand, 13 grand, 5 grand, 6 grand, of course, doing it. But then now that because anything you got to make money, you got to spend money. But now within 2 months, within 7 weeks, now you have income that's coming through, and that's income that's coming into you. And then now you can use that income to invest more into it. Okay, let's keep investing and keep that income flowing. And by the time you know it, we now just got our second Airbnb, we got our second property. Now this, and just again, subletting, not even just owning a subletting place, but a place now where we can go and stay. So we have a place that we can go and stay in full time, and then a place now we have on Airbnb. So what I would say is, if you want, book in your coaching session so we can go exactly what you need. We'll show you projects, or we can look, okay, what do you want? If you want to sublet, okay, we'll just go and do it for you. Instead of you having to we'll just go do it for you. We'll just show you, okay, do you have this money for furnishing? This is Wi-Fi, what it's going to cost for Wi-Fi. Even the property management, we can just manage the property for you, and we just take commission from the bookings, right? We run the ads for you, take booking, but we have a fee where we'll just go and set this all up for you, optimize for you. And now you can just start that with a free coaching session. So if no one has any questions, I want to thank you guys so much for coming. Again, if you're not in the WhatsApp group, let me know. Most of you guys are already in there. A lot of people on YouTube coming. We'll add you into the WhatsApp group. You can partner with someone. Maybe we can also book in a session. Maybe this is your budget. Okay. Maybe if you want to partner with someone, you can do that, right? Which is less money, which is great. Maybe we partner, and then we just, who can you find to partner with? Or you can just do this yourself and get started. Okay. So if no one has any questions, I'll give you guys an opportunity for any questions. But this is powerful stuff. And then, like I said, guys, again, we're a little bit different, where we got to market the place really well. So our place is on YouTube. That's another thing. Let's get this place up for you on YouTube. We put it on YouTube, we put it on Facebook, we put it everywhere. We run ads. So now people, imagine someone comes and stays at your place for 6 months. Maybe even if it's a short-term rental, someone comes and stays for 6 months, and we get them to pay 2 to 3 months rent up front, 4 months rent up front. So now that's where you actually make the money, because now let's say you're paying rent $500 a month, but maybe someone comes and books in for $1,500 for the month, right? 1,500 times, let's say they stay 5 months, that's $7,500. That's $7,500. You just take the rent away, pay back the landlord, happy days with the landlord, and now you get all that cash up front. Of course, that money that you get, you want to reinvest a little. You put money back into the marketing. Okay, let's keep marketing. Let's keep having leads. We want leads coming in. A lot of you guys know me. How? What am I doing? Marketing. I run Facebook ads. I'm there. Apartment, same thing. Our apartment. So we don't just rely on Airbnb. We got to make money out of this shit. Sorry for the language. We got to make money out of this. So look again, marketing budget. What's our monthly ad spend? Boom, furnishing. Have a good place. So I'll see you guys in the next webinar. Let me know if you have any questions. If no one has any questions, no questions, guys. Don't be shy. Okay, we've got a question coming. The Westland apartments are expensive to own. Not well. What's expensive? I was in New York. Hey, New York. Hey, go and find me an apartment you can find in New York for $70,000, for $60,000. Come on. Let me show you. Let me show you. So no, they're not. You could get places in Westlands. You'd look at a place like $60,000 for 1 bedroom or 70,000 USD. And again, you only got to put a 20% down deposit for $16,000 or $60,000. Sorry. For $60,000. That's not, so for me, that's not expensive. To have downtown Westlands, $60,000 to $70,000 is nothing. Let me show you quickly.
Here in Kenya.
So this is a Muzungu guy. He has 4 apartments. If you see, I'm telling you, people are seeing this stuff early. If even Muzungus are coming in and they're investing, is because they can see where we are.
Known historically for having lower than average.
Have a look at this place. This is in Westland.
Our biggest 1 bedroom, and then we're selling at average price of 77,000 euros. 1 bedroom, and then we're selling at average price of 77,000 US dollar. And then let me tell you, this.
I don't know about that comment there, but 77,000 US dollars. 77,000 US dollars for a 1 bedroom apartment in Westlands. Like I said, where in New York, in Sydney, here, can you find a place for 77,000 in downtown? You can't even get a parking spot for $77,000.
Penthouse. This is just a
penthouse. So there's even cheaper.
1 bedroom. This is our bathroom, and then this is our bedroom. And here we come to our living room and also the kitchen. This is the kitchen appliance we're using.
So if you'd see in that video, I put we went here. So we have a partnership with these guys.
Which is Bosch from Germany, which is also including in the price. And everything for the furnishing, it is all from China. We're not buying those furnishing from the wholesaler here in Kenya. We have been working with those very big.
You can even get a place that's furnished as well. So straight away, right?
And the reputable suppliers in China for the past 20 years. Everything we purchase, we understand. And
Chinese, they're very, very, very good. Oh, sorry, you've had another question. Are most of our properties sublets? So we have 2 sublets and then 1 owned. So 2 sublets and 1 owned. That's a great question.
Very well.
This is why I'm really interested in this. This is one of the reasons. Chinese developers don't have a great reputation.
So, and then let's go here.
Well, there is some element of risk in the sense that not all the permits have been issued yet. I just went ahead.
In terms of local markets, like I said, there is a local market, Savaro, that I know that they have, but that's more cheaper. It's more affordable housing that you can get a place for 20,000 US dollars, which is nothing. And you don't even have to put a down deposit. You just pay like $400 a month for a year, 2 years, and then you have your own place. But of course, they're, more cheaper.
Last time when I bought an apartment here, a few apartments here.
So let's go into a little bit of the prices.
They were under injunction. It got sorted out, all good. I would just negotiate essentially what I negotiate. Let's do all of the numbers in detail here.
Sure.
Purchase price 175.
So 175, and that's for like a penthouse, 3-bedroom penthouse in Westlands. Where in New York can you go find a place for 175,000 in Manhattan? In Manhattan, go tell me.
for the 3-bedroom penthouse. What are roughly the closing costs?
Okay, so there is stamp duty at 4%.
Mhm.
There is the legal fees of the developer, which is paid by the purchaser. That's at 1%. And then legal fees of the purchase is 1.5%.
Okay, and then a few incidentals, etc.
Yes, there'll be a few incidents.
You can see here, look at furnishing, how much furniture, similar to what my mom spent, she spent 20,000 on furnishing. Yes, it's very important that you furnish your place nicely.
Rental costs thereafter.
Okay, so for this particular unit, I'm doing the numbers for furnished because I think it's going to be a penthouse is me a furnished market. What do you recommend in terms of the budget?
Around $19,000 to $20,000.
Look, it's a penthouse. I'm not going to put IKEA, right? No IKEA here. You just put like just really nice furniture, you kit it out. In my mind, the target market is African. It's a wealthy African businessman that either lives here full time or that comes on a regular basis to Nigeria.
See, what he's saying is very, very valuable. So of course he was saying the furnishing part, but you see, he already knows who his customer is. So you got to think about it. When I have my Airbnb, right? Who's going to be my customer? There's that person, those Nigerians who are traveling back and forth. They're coming on business. That's your, that could be, look who his customer is.
Nairobi, it's not necessarily going to be some expat family. It's going to be a Nigerian who comes to Nairobi for a week per month or a few months per year, or some Sudanese business person that lives here. They want to impress. They want to be right in the center of everything. They want to be close to all the nightclubs. So it's really about showing off. And
you see that? So you got to think about, okay, Sujira, when I get my Airbnb, who do we want to attract? Like I said, we don't just have to be on Airbnb. We run ads on Facebook and all these places. So when that person who's from Nigeria or that person from the US or whoever, they're coming in doing business every month and they want a nice place that's luxurious, that they can stay for 2-3 months, they have the money, then they see your beautiful place. It's got its own website. Boom, they come in, we call them, we follow up with them like a hotel, get that person booked in. That person comes in and pays $1,500 for the month, or they pay $1,800 for the month. It depends, right? Boom. And imagine maybe you sublet, you're paying, or you own the place, and that's just income that comes into your pocket. So it's about knowing, who do I want to come and stay at my Airbnb? We attract that person, and happy days. Let's get the income.
the furniture will have to reflect this. That ultimately.
So yeah, quite a lot of stuff. If you guys want to know more, again, let me know. We'll add you in the WhatsApp group. If you're in the WhatsApp group, make sure you book in your coaching session, so then we can actually look in and say, how do we get started? How can you do this? How can you really get going? And then once you have that, let's go and do this. So we're in March right now, going to April, time's running. So if you want to get started, this is the time. This is the year to get started now. It's the year, right? Even if you're up ready, within a few months. Okay, I put in the last thing. Maybe some of you guys have already seen this. I had to put it in again because it was such a powerful video, and it's everything I've been talking about.
Has the highest return on foreign investment than any other place in the world.
But you don't hear about
Of
that.
course not.
Of course not. Right.
Of course, the global average is 7.4. Africa is 11, right? So nobody knows that, and nobody thinks that, and nobody talks about that,
Right.
because it's counterintuitive to the perspective that they have.
I'm going to keep it
of
a
the
buck
continent.
with you because I've often thought about this, especially, getting older. I'm going, I want to invest in Africa, but then just being honest and truthful, then fear starts to come. Like, wait, what if this happens? And what if that happens? And
What if a line comes?
And it's because I think what ends up happening is that all of that programming
Yeah.
and fear starts to come like, oh, well, you don't know, and what, and before you know it, you end up doing nothing.
Doing nothing. How many people have been thinking about this? Some of you guys here, you've been thinking about this for a long time, but you end up doing nothing. You can see another person, these other, for example, a Mzungu they'll come in and invest before even you, and you're Kenyan, you have roots there. And it's not that you don't want to do it, you do want to do it, but it's just like that fear that he's talking about. Where do I start? How do I do this? What about if I send money to someone and it fails? No, we don't have time for that anymore. This is the time.
Right? You end up doing nothing and not investing.
That's why you're here.
Yeah.
To guide us to this. It's crazy. It's really crazy. I mean, Nigeria's GDP is going to be $15 trillion by 2050. That's Nigeria is going to be the third biggest economy in the world.
Wow.
That's the truth. Africa right now has four of the fastest of the 10 fastest growing economies in the world is in Africa right now.
Let's go.
Technology, AI, finance, infrastructure, real estate. It is booming, right?
What have I been saying this whole thing? What have I been saying?
Because it's all about the numbers.
Yeah.
Right? We have the youngest demographic in the world. 40% of the world's youth will be in Africa by 2050. Damn, think about that.
40%
40% of the
world
entire world's youth
youth. Yeah.
will be in Africa. So, damn, what that means for job creation, what that means for human resources, what that means for ideations, what that means for technology. Africa has 900 million smartphones by 2030. That's twice as many as America and Europe combined.
Imagine.
And with fintech and everything else, everybody's doing everything on their smartphones in Africa. They've done that.
How long have we had M-Pesa back in Kenya? Here in Australia, we started to do Pay ID, which is like M-Pesa, and it's not even still as good as M-Pesa. We started to do that, what, 3, 4, 5 years ago? They've been doing that in Kenya for a long time. So all these data centers, AI, Westland, I go to Westland, I was doing podcasting. I have on my YouTube channel, podcasting with offices in Nairobi with our technology. So if you can see those things happening, that means, guess what? People are moving there. And if people are moving there, people need a place to stay. African Cup of Nations is actually, they're saying the final is going to be close to where we have our apartment. So when I saw that yesterday, I was like, man, we're only a year away. When African Cup of Nation comes to Kenya, which is only next year, and also my other country, Rwanda, when it comes to Kenya next year, our apartment's gonna, I want maybe 4 apartments because we have apartments all in the same area. I'm gonna be getting bookings. Maybe you right now who's in this webinar, you're gonna have an apartment by the time AFCON comes. And when AFCON comes in, you're gonna be getting bookings. You're gonna be earning 3 grand, 2 grand in that month, fully booked out.
For years before we even started.
Oh yeah. Before we did the pay by with the Apple Pay and whatever, they were doing that.
Kenya,
M-Pesa.
Yep.
Everybody.
They were doing that. Yup.
Yeah.
I saw a whole video on that.
Yeah.
Damn.
Right. So again, the work that we're doing is, and it's funny, people say, oh, it's so good of you to give back. I'm not giving back.
This is business.
This is economic development. This is investing. This is understanding that Africa is not an emerging market anymore.
Yeah.
It's a booming market in endless sectors.
And this is probably why you see a lot of the people from China starting to come into.
Not starting to come in.
They've
They've been in Africa for the
been
last 20 years.
Oh wow. Yeah.
Investing, especially in.
So we're just now finding out. Yeah.
Yeah.
For decades they've
Chinese, I told you, Chinese have been there.
So yeah, it's important that we realize.
When did you start Full Circle?
So anyway, guys, we could go on for a long time. I want to thank you guys for coming. Again, if you really want to get started and make this dream into a reality and not just be here and get motivated, or even if you just came here to learn what you need, then fantastic, happy days. As long as you came in here and said, oh, good, I've got what I needed. I've got the team back home. I know how to do this. I can do this myself. That I just needed a little bit of this information. I needed the cost. Now, hey, now you can go and do it. As long as I've inspired someone to go and take action. Or if it's like, oh shit, I really loved all this information, but how do I even do it? Or I just need this to get done for me. Then you can now book in a conversation and let's go and let's get it done for you. Okay. Or you can just even have just to ask questions and just to learn more. Okay. All right, guys. Thank you so much. If you have no more questions, we'll see you